Welcome back to Autolooks Online. It's been a while, but it's been a busy week over at the Paris Auto Show this week. We're now looking at the brand new Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. Yes, Lamborghini's got a brand new car on the way to replace the Murcielago, and we're all hoping, hey, maybe it's one of the previous concepts, or maybe it's this car. Of course, looking at this car, you might think this may not be something that will replace the Murcielago due to its limited size, but due to its style, we're looking at something that may hint in a direction at its replacement. Well, over the past couple of years, we've seen some pretty neat things coming from Lamborghini due to the fact that they're now owned by Volkswagen. If you people didn't know that, yes, they're owned by VW. These wild and crazy cars have kind of taught us something in the past. Don't piss. When Ferrari tells you you can't do something, don't tell Mr. Lamborghini because he'll prove you wrong. And nothing is greater than his brand new cars. Okay, like let's say a couple years ago, they brought out that four-door sedan. Kind of cool, but just like Porsche, it might diminish your quality. Well, not quality. You might diminish your name throughout the world. Yes, a four-door Porsche Panamera may be cool, but hey, who the hell are they kidding? It's just another grocery-grabbing mom car for all those rich, stuck-up hill wives. Seriously, I won't pick my kids up in one of those things. I'd rather pick my kids up in a 911 Turbo. If they can't fit in the back, hey, that's my fun. I'm not paying $200,000 for a sedan. I don't think so. Moving on to this Lamborghini, the brand new concept. Yeah, sure, may not be the new Lamborghini, but this thing may prove where Lamborghini's going in the future. Now, taking a look up front, we see some wild, crazy stuff. This kind of reminds me of an old Lamborghini from the early 1990s concept they had. Can't recall the name right this second. We got thousands of names up there, okay? But it kind of blends in with a lot of that old stuff that they had from the 90s. Kind of blended in with that brand new Lamborghini Revention. Hello, hello, hello. Remember what I said about the Lotus previously? About the rims kind of looking like Lamborghini? Yeah. Very similar, to be exact. Okay, now, up front, we all know Lamborghini's motor is in the back. Yeah. It's either mid-engine or rear engine. Why do they say that? Well, specifically with this car, if you've seen the pictures of this, it's got to be rear engine. Because if this thing's mid-engine, that thing's pushed to the mid of the car and all the way back. Because you got pieces hanging on the back end. Now, looking up the front, look at these weird air ducts. Like, I haven't seen the car up close, but I'm trying to figure out where Lamborghini's going with this thing. Kind of neat, but kind of different. They almost look like blood spots. Like it's an evil car. Those are fangs. I know fangs should be down here, not up here, but they do have fangs. Kind of like wing fangs down there. Looking at the car the first time, you see it from the front end, you kind of think, what's evil, what's black, what's covered in red? Yeah, vampire, vampire bat. Yeah, this thing kind of looks like an evil vampire bat in the front end. Gotta hand it, Lamborghini. If Dodge can make a car look like a snake, maybe you can make something look like a flying rat. And make it look cool. This thing is definitely cool. Okay. Yeah, those weird ducks, not getting them, but kind of thinking, what's going on with them? Next to that, we see the sort of running board thing they had before here. Yeah. Cool. Neat. Kind of lowers the coefficient of drag, but really? Not too sure about them. Still kind of cool, but not too sure. When you got things on the side of a car that look like running boards of a truck, maybe you should rethink your design. Air duct for the back. Ooh. Big. That's all I can say. One word, big. This thing is, yeah, monstrous. I don't know what the hell they're getting with this. But, no, your hood line blends in very well with roof line in your front end. Look at this. Perfect curve. You only got a little dip there because this curve from the hood tapers off and goes around the car. Nice lines, straight, smooth, and they move up in a perfect direction. They're not like, let's say, a Cadillac, where they just shoot from here to here, or what's some of the other cars? Well, let's just say a car that shoots straight across the top. It's got a perfect line. It's just nice, easy flow. Now, this car here could have been done without. Yeah, I know you need some cuts in this to kind of break the smooth edge. The back one here, sure, it's done perfectly because it follows the lines of the door and the door handle, but still not too sure about it. Headlights, awesome. That's all I can say. Your front air ducts, nothing needs to be said with that. Now, moving on to the back here. We're going to make this picture a little bit bigger. Okay. Now, you see what I mean by a little too many flat and straight lines on this thing? You need a little bit more curves. Yes, it creates a racy image. Right here, the bottom of the engine sits. Yeah. Okay. Kind of neat. Kind of different. Easy access to fix it, but still seems like there's a dual back. Like, this is a wing hanging off the back. Yeah, well, that's really what it is. But, I don't know. I'm not too crazy about it. It almost seems like this should be the back end, and that's kind of added on. Kind of just hanging there, you know? Kind of, it's a little too Formula One. Yeah, Formula One cars would be kind of cool if we could drive them on the road, but and another fact, they're designed for that purpose. This thing's designed for that purpose too, but how many people out there are going to spend $250,000, $350,000 on a supercar like this and actually take it to the track every weekend and race tiny little pocket rocket kids? Not that many. Most people who drive these things hardly ever go over 80 miles an hour in them. Seriously. I've done over 80 miles an hour before. It's pretty fun. I don't suggest you do it on the street. You know, retired from that. Yeah, police are all thanking me for that. But seriously, if I had something like this, I'd find a racetrack. City I live in, no racetrack. I gotta go 3 hours south to find a good racetrack. But if I had something like this, I'd probably build my own racetrack just so I could race every weekend to be able to use these back airports. Okay, air ducts. Well, not airports. Now, they did the same thing as the Lotus did, and the Lamborghini Revention. Light port, dug right into the car, and they just slapped the light in there. This is a very neat feature. It's kind of taken away from those, nice smooth bubble lights that everyone used to have in the back end of the car. Kind of just adding in, hey, we'll cut the hole out, and we'll just add this little line of plastic right in there. Add some nice looking lights, and when you hit the tail lights, all you can see is a thin line. Just like you ever seen for the Audi S5. It's got that nice wraparound headlight. Everybody's loving halogens. This car just proved that you can do cool looking taillights. Seriously. The Revention proved it to us, but now it seems that everybody wants to do them. Hey, if I could put these on my car, I would. The only thing downside of the back end of this thing, okay, if you ever see this car from the top, I have a picture right here, it's got exhaust ports. Hot air exhaust ports coming right out of the back of the car. Yeah, good to get rid of the heat coming out of the motor. They're round. Everything on this car are nice, straight, easy lines. And they put circles in the back. Seriously, it's almost as bad as when they did the Lamborghini Diablo rims, the original ones. Everyone remembers those? Those 5 concentric circles that made up a rim. Neat effect, but odd. They should have did nice smooth lines, not a circle. Circle doesn't really go very well with the back end of this thing. Seriously, if they had done with like triangles, sort of like the front headlights, front ducts, well, even your handle might have made it a little bit more sense. Or just actually create 2 long rectangles, split it. You know what else would be the best part to do on top of that? Add some miniature taillights to it. So when you hit that light, no one's ever expecting something. It's like a runway. This is where my engine is. This is where the power comes from. Okay, moving on to the rest of this car. We're looking at one wild, crazy, out of this world design. Okay, this thing's like a UFO. It's getting a 10 out of 10 for mysterious. Okay, we never saw this thing coming. Like, I sort of saw something like this coming, but didn't actually figure they would do something like this, almost like that sedan. I heard that they might be doing a sedan, but I could never believe that Lamborghini would build one. Then it comes out, and you're looking at like, okay, this is kind of cool, but 5 years down the road, the design's going to be dated. It's not like the Diablo or the Murcielago. Murcielago has been around for over a decade now. Does it look like it's a decade old? Still not. Gallardo? What is it working on? 8 years now? Still doesn't look that dated. This thing, create a design like this thing's going to last you another decade, Lamborghini. So I'm going to have to give you a thumbs up. This car, we're all hoping, maybe a couple little tweaks here and there on it, but we're hoping this thing's going to replace either Gallardo or the Lamborghini, or the Murcielago. Okay? Now, overall appeal on this thing, it's getting a 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. Just like the Lamborghini Revention, this thing's getting a 10 out of 10. I don't care about those little circles in the back not being cool. This is a 10. Everyone wants to know what a perfect 10 is? This is it. Okay? Two bad spots, but every other good spot overcompensates for where the bad spots make up. Alright? Lamborghini, all I can say is you got a winner on your hands, and let's just say we're all going to love it. It's time to prove that Enzo Ferrari was wrong. You can take a cheaper radiator from your tractor, put it on the front end of your Ferrari, and make it work. Because why? You've proved them wrong that you can build cars and not just tractors. Thank you for this week at Autolux.